Here's my only substantial story concerning spooky stuff. It kind of sucks, but whatever. Context: be me. 17, living in rural New York. House is on the edge of a fairly expansive forest. I used to smoke weed a lot then, and I didn't want my parents to find out. I'd keep everything in the trunk of my car and smoke after getting home from a night out. Anyways. Get home late one night, 3 or 4 in the morning. Open my trunk and start to get everything ready. I notice that the forest isn't making any noise. No crickets, tree frogs, cicadas, nothing. A little creeped out, but it was fall and it was getting cooler, so I shrugged it off. Suddenly hear leaves crunching loudly in the woods. I hear this fairly often, normally a possum or raccoon or something, no big deal. Turn on my phone flashlight and aim it towards the sound. Phone flashlight sucks, so doesn't really illuminate anything past a few feet. Evidently enough light to see it reflecting off of 2 glowing eyeballs deep in the woods, low to the ground, pointing at me. Lots of animals have reflective eyes, so I assume, given how low the eyes are, that it's a possum or raccoon. Suddenly, the eyes raise off the ground while still looking at me, as if whatever was looking at me stood up. The eyes are now almost blocked by the lowest branches, measured the next day, about 10 feet from the ground. Looks like pickerel. My blood runs cold. There's no way this is a deer. Deer aren't 10 fucking feet tall. I stay frozen looking at this thing. It's staring right back. Feels like ages. Finally the eyes disappear, as if the creature looked away or something. Start to pack up everything BC. I want to get the fuck inside. Keep flashlight aimed at trees. Still no noise from the forest. Suddenly hear these immensely heavy and fast footfalls, as if the creature is sprinting. Thud 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 as it pounds against a forest floor. The second I hear this, I literally jumped in fear, sending my stuff flying into the grass. Sprint back to my house lightning fast. Forget dropping my shit back at my car, I'm about to die. Swing into my garage side door in a graceful motion, slamming the door behind me. Peer out door window to see if the thing has come into the light by my garage. 2 long skinny green taloned feet contrast the relatively bright concrete in the light of the garage. See nothing else, no eyes. Immediately turn my back to the door and slide down into the fetal position. Hear mom coming down the garage steps from living room. She opens the door. Get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. This one is a personal story that happened a few weeks back. Be me. Still live with parents. They go away on a trip for their anniversary. Got the house to myself from Friday night to Monday afternoon. Whatever. All of Saturday is just video, YouTube, and jacking it. Fall asleep. Dream about me being home alone at my house. Basically a bunch of guys break into via the back door. Wake up in the morning and feed the cats. For a bit of context, their food and water bowls are in the kitchen. The bowls are directly next to a small room that has the back door from the dream. One of my cats just stands there, looking at the back room. She was constantly meowing, went for well over 3 minutes. Think nothing of it. Later that night, I go bring the trash out. I leave through the back door. It shuts behind me. Oh fuck, it was locked. Since I'm home alone, I have no choice but to find a way back in. I decide to bang and push on the back door. It opens, and I fall inside. Thankfully nothing was damaged. Don't realize until later that I burst in through the same back door that was in the dream and that my cat was meowing at. Think of it as a major coincidence. Later go to bed. Wake up and feed cats again, no meowing this time. Turn on the news. A house just 2 blocks down was broken into. Although there were scarce details, it was confirmed that the house's back door was busted open. Is this all just one big coincidence, or was there omens that I just ignored? Be me around 20-something. Go to bathroom, which is a short walk from my room. Piss or shit, or whatever. Turn off light. It's like 3 a.m., so no light on in the hallway, only light is the screen from my monitor in my room from the door. Turn out of the bathroom and immediately shift my shoulder. By this I mean you know how you come out of a door or something, and you react to avoid bumping into another human by shifting your shoulder. I did this to some sort of darker than the dark aura. Didn't think about it, just shifted to avoid this blackness that I didn't realize I did until I had done it. Another one. Be me. Be in bed. As I said, I have health issues, so spend most of my time in bed. My desk faces my door, which is to the side of my bed. Late at night. On PC. I see a sight of a head plus shoulder pop around the door and back into the hallway. Call out thinking it was my mother checking up on me. Nothing. She is deaf in one ear and 70% in another, so called her mobile phone, cell phone, and she answered it. Asked her if she just popped her head around my door. She said no, she said she was asleep and I woke her up. Bit spooked, but that was that. Then a few nights ago. Watching TV, which is in front of my bed. Desk obviously to my left as I'm lying in bed. Watching TV. Turn to look at screen. See a brief black outline of a person walking towards my door, but only like a split second. I assumed it was a sort of tiredness-induced mimic action from quickly moving my head from TV to monitor, but I dunno, seeing as the face pop around the corner. A few others, dunno if I have space. Go to sleep. Have sleep paralysis, which I've had before. But this time a spooky horror story ghost girl is standing next to my bed looking at me, can't see face, matted hair covering it, white dress and everything. Just assumed it was a freaky dream sleep paralysis night terror thing. Got one more. But I'll tell you my story, again. Be me. Be kid, dunno how old, 4 or 5. Be looking through stair slats. Be sunny day around 14:30 or so. Look over at entrance to my kitchen. Something is there, a full monk robe person, hood up, no face, just black, no feet there. I'm not scared, start talking to it. Mum upstairs doing ironing. She gets spooked. Comes to top of stairs asking who I am talking to. I turn to her and go, that man there. Turn back, nothing there. She thinks I've seen a ghost, nothing more about it. For the next 5 to 6 years I hear footsteps on floorboards, door open on their own, objects move on their own. I tell my family I hear doors open, but they aren't any doors in the house. Dad thinks it me making shit up. Dad takes me to doctor. Doctor is family friend. My dad is also a doctor, and doctor friend goes, he isn't making this shit up. It is too detailed and too consistent with what you told me. He isn't making any errors. Dad still thinks bollocks. Go into parents' room one night, like I do every night, because I am awoken by footsteps coming to my door. Get in bed. Dad huffs and gets out. Walks in darkness to the spare bedroom. Suddenly shoots back and turns on lights. Turns on all the lights in the house. Refuses to turn them off. Few days later he gets a priest to bless the house. Doesn't fix shit. Around about 10 it just stops. Last major event is a pressure latch attic door opening on its own in front of me and my family. After that shit evened out, the few odd events. I still live at home due to ill health, and when I turned 26 or so my mother told me she had seen the ghost of a man in the house when we moved in, but had kept it quiet to not spook me. I had done research by then and found out, purely my accident, I had seen a shadow person of the monk robe variety. Be me. Parents threw me out because all I do is smoke pot and play video games. Homeless. Meet an old guy who has made it a life habit of helping out the people around him. Some supernatural stuff related to him, but that's a different story. He shows me a place downtown that gives food to the homeless, big plates, always seconds. Go there for a while with him. Every Sunday a new pastor comes into the soup kitchen to do a sermon. Sunday rolls by. See an apparition of Christ in my mind's eye, he's watching us all. He tells me that this was the reason why I was put on this earth. Not sure what he means, but then I realize that the pastor is preaching hellfire and bullshit. Christ tells me that it's my destiny to make a new church that loves the people and doesn't want to make them afraid. Break down crying in front of all the other druggies. Old Elperdude asks what's wrong, tells me I should probably suck it up in front of everyone. Try to regain composure. A bunch of schizo shit culminates with me, and I become a blubbering mess. Feel Christ touch me. Instantly stop crying. Keep my mouth shut and regain composure. Ask Christ why I'm supposed to be a pastor. I don't believe I have a good bone in my body. Christ tells me that this is why I'm worthy of preaching his word. Start breaking down again. Leave the soup kitchen after the sermon. There's a greater narrative here about God giving me power and a mission, but it's so schizo I'm not gonna bother with it. Hey, X got a story from when I was like 12 maybe. Obligatory, not exactly paranormal, but it was really fucking weird, so here we go. Be me, 12 probably maybe 11. Living with mom and stepdad in an apartment complex a few years before my dad got into oil and started making real money. Mobilicarwash.png. He has a friend who has a kid my age and they invite us over for barbecue. Friend is Jamaican and makes some fucking amazing jerk chicken. Hype as fuck for jerk chicken, all three of us go over to the place, a few apartments down from us. Sit on their big leather couch and it makes a fart noise and the Jamaican guy jokes you have no shame. The instant he says this, I am blasted with a wave of exhaustion. Like I can hardly move and would fall asleep right there if it wasn't the middle of a cookout. Can't even reply because I'm suddenly just too fucking tired to speak. Look over at my mom and slowly get up and walk over to her, explain that I'm really tired out of nowhere. She says it's alright if head back to our place for a nap. THX mom. Head back, basically rocket myself into bed, throw phone on nightstand, fucking alarm it's summer and I don't have shit to do. Fall asleep. Wake up, still light out, think that's weird, as I fell asleep around 7 p.m. Put clothes on, leave room, mom jumps up from the living room and hugs me saying she was so worried about me. I had slept for about 40 hours straight. Day after I fell asleep, they came in my room at about noon to see if I was alright and I was still sleeping, they couldn't wake me up. They were starting to heavily consider taking me to the hospital, which they should have done sooner, but they're really weird people and also broke as hell at the time. Can't remember any dreams from the 40-hour sleep and it never happened again. So yeah, that's about it. Sorry if it's not as paranormal as you were hoping, but it was a really weird thing to happen that I sometimes wonder about. Your turn, tell me stories. Share unexplainable encounters. I'll start. Be me, around 9 or 10 years old. Wake up in the night. Delirious AF, time is uncertain. Sitting up in bed, look to my right, and someone is stood in my doorway. Standing perfectly still staring directly at me. Clear view of them, yet the whole room is dark. Emotionless yet distinctive face, gender is uncertain, looks about 12 years old. I assume it's one of my siblings. Call out both of their names, male and female. No response to either. I'm like WTF.jpg still staring blankly at me without moving. I still think it's one of my siblings. Pick up my pillow and throw it at them. Pillow goes straight through them, hits the wall and lands on the floor at their feet. I'm scared. Bury myself under covers and try to sleep. Have no memory of struggling to sleep. Wake up the next day as normal. Pillow is on the floor by the door. Their face has always stuck with me. Genderless and emotionless. Anyone else experience anything like this? Couldn't have been a dream as I did throw the pillow. I've thought a lot about it and that face has always stuck with me. I've never had a hallucination that distinctive. Still gives me chills. Pick related, closest I could find that resembles what I saw. Greentext guys gather round. Be me. 5 or so years ago. Be big time dudeweed in Canada. Go to backyard to smoke a dudeweed. Bit of context: rural area backyard, 1 acre is enclosed by trees. 3 tree lines of big pine, trees you can't see through, divide the yard into 3 sections. Remember this because it's important later. Anyway, back to the tale. Dudeweed, ing a blunt in backyard. All is quiet and peaceful. Hear rustling in the bush and trees bordering property. Probably my stupid cat shitting under trees again. Rustle rustle. That sounds bigger than a cat. Crunch crunch crunch. Sounds like it's walking on 2 legs. WTF. Start getting freaked out because also high and paranoid now. Think I see a little gray hand poke out of bushes. Okay, I hope that's just drugs. 1. It experiences with paranormal activities. Ill start. Be me. 17 at the time. Have GF that lives in attic of parents' house. Staying the night. House has 3 stories and 2 staircases that creak a lot. Around 1:30 in the morning I hear someone bolting up the stairs. Wathific.png. Door swings open and slams against wall with a sound as if someone tried to kick it open. Lights in the hall turned on. Kinda freaking out, but decide to turn off the lights in the hall and just go to sleep again as it's late. Lights on the 1st floor and 2nd floor close to the stairs were on too. Go to turn them off and make my way back up. As I do, I can see through a window backlit by the street lamps outside. See the silhouette of a person outside of window as if he's peering directly at me. Nope.jpg. Get back in bed as GF asks me what was up. Tell her. Tells me this happens often. Got a bunch of stories like this from staying at her place. Can't? Pick unrelated.